That's what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at that. We're live.
Let's see here.
Live to tape.
Yeah. You have one of those reel-to-reel PCs?
No,
Do
but I
ya?
have one in my house in Animal Crossing.
Oh.
I have that as well.
I have
I have another couple things I want to send you, Greg.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to invite you over.
Yeah, you are gonna
I
have
gotta-
to.
Maybe after we record tonight. No,
I gotta come
to
the
your-
hours
maybe.
get done too late.
Guys' Village as
By
well.
the way, I got a. Well, I guess we'll save this for the show.
Yeah, we could talk about it during the show. This is a
Yeah.
video game show
We
after
could.
all. We
We
could.
Yeah.
could. I guess so.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 701 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Good evening.
How's it going, sir?
It's going great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
good.
Yep.
And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Yo. Hey, what's happening, dudes? I'm the guy with the rep for being rude, terrorizing people wherever I go. It's not intentional, just keeping the flow. Fixing Tesco's to get the best scores, dropping banana peels all over the floor. I'm the kid that made delinquency. I know the last name Simpson, first name, but I'm here today to introduce the
God.
next phase, the next step in the big
He's just
block
not going to stop,
craze.
so
I
I'm
gotta
going to go
dance.
ahead and
I'm
talk
just
over him.
reading Facebook at this point.
Learn it with the rhythm, and so can you.
I want to say
Oh,
up front,
move
if
your
you guys
body if you
checked
got
out the
motion.
episode that went
You
up
know,
on the audio
fun
feed
at all
on
for my
Friday, it was the
90s
Player One
celebration.
Squares.
Yeah, what about it?
You may have seen it.
What about it?
I want to thank Seabake,
Yes.
Chris Baker, 76.
Holy cow.
For putting that together and putting together that video that's on our YouTube channel. It turned
That was
out great.
crazy.
Turned out really great.
I can't
It
believe the
was-
amount of work he did on that.
It was
I
extremely
know.
ambitious. I wasn't prepared for how ambitious it was when he sort of started suggesting that we do it.
Yeah.
I know. And we recorded it
great.
like a month ago, more than a month ago, before all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So you have short hair, CJ. Not like now. Where I'm working on a mullet. I'm gonna be there pretty soon. Pretty soon.
You saw Tiger King and it inspired you?
Yep.
Inspired me. Growing
You
a
need
mane of
some
my
piercings. I mean, you can't
Somebody-
go out and do it, so maybe you could just get Adrian to do it for you.
own. No.
Are you
No.
also luring young men into your life by getting them addicted to meth?
No.
Well, I mean, he was doing that 20 years ago. How do you think we became friends?
No, yeah. I mean, I was his roommate
What?
for a while, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So you saw what he was doing and didn't stop him?
We always, well, you know what? We always said he had that big Rubbermaid tub of
Ore-
Oreos.
Oreos?
Oreos, yeah. Heavy on the euphemism.
Ew.
Methem?
Youth
Youth?
using methem.
You
know,
and
though-
Methem. Yeah.
Now that Oreos come in the package, the resealable stuff, I don't need the tub anymore. It just
Oh, man,
Close it
that's kind of
technology,
heartbreaking.
man.
That's, I don't know, man.
Food technology.
There's some magic kind of lost in that, you know?
Yep.
I guess there is. Just
Yeah.
a little. Just a little bit.
Youth and
But-
Methem. That was CJ's slogan back in the early aughts.
No.
Youth and Methem.
Nope. Nope. But I do want to thank Chris Baker again, and
Yes.
I know he's probably dealing with baby stuff or something right
I
about
hope,
now.
yeah, I'd love
Oh,
to hear
yeah.
something about that because
That's right.
she was due.
Yeah, I
pretty
haven't
much
seen him post
immediately,
yet,
wasn't
but a preemptive congratulations to
Yeah.
him and the missus for
Baby.
popping out a kid, a baby. They've created a life. There you
They're
go.
popping out a kid. 9 months ago, what they did.
Oh man, See,
Nudge,
Phil, you
nudge.
probably usually
wink.
throughout the week you get rid of all this energy
really.
at work, and now since you don't have
right
you're
here.
not going into the office.
I'm holed up. I can't stretch
Man.
my limbs.
And I'm just gonna say it again.
Yeah.
Mrs. Phil Theobald,
Yeah. Well, she has a
An-
name.
angel on
Trooper.
earth.
She has
A
a name.
Angel
saint.
on earth.
She has a name.
Yeah.
She has her
Yeah.
own identity, Greg. Her
Mhm.
identity is not dependent
I
on
feel like
the
your
man
personality
in
sucks
her life.
everything around it in like a black hole.
Well, now we got Finn, which is
I
like
know, which
having
is
about
just
like
having a mini you, and
Yeah,
you were
let's-
already a mini
yeah.
you.
thank you. Yeah,
Dana.
thank
I'm talking
you.
about Dana. Dana's
Oh,
a saint.
That's right. Yes.
yeah, she is.
How you guys holding up with everything? Working from home, schooling. We were on spring break this week, so
Yeah. So no formal lessons will be
no
coming
formal lessons.
They
which just-
started formal homeschooling here this past week,
in. Oh, really?
and it was a rough start.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the school board probably didn't give teachers enough direction on how they
Yeah.
should do these things.
Okay.
But I mean, I my kids have some great teachers anyway, and they've sorted it out pretty fast. It was like less than a day. Everything was all running. There were a few tears on this end, none of mine, where they were a little frustrated and a little bit worried that they were missing out on what they were supposed to be doing and that sort of thing. But it cleared up pretty fast. Their teachers were great, so yeah.
Hmm. Cool.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow we have to go back to online learning with Charlotte. That'll be interesting. We've been trying to, I downloaded all these educational apps and things that are not like serving ads, and it's not YouTube Kids or anything like that
Yeah.
Charlotte can access anytime she wants. She can do any of those things. But of course, she wants to play Roblox and
Mhm.
wants to watch YouTube. So gotta do that in moderation. Can't just do that.
Yeah. I will say on the
unimpeded.
weekends, the idea of limiting screen time has pretty much gone out the window.
It's hard, right?
Well, I mean, they're so bored.
Well, what
And,
are you
know, it's-
what are you
can
gonna
send them
what are they
outside
gonna
to
do?
play? Yeah, but you send them
Yeah.
outside to play. But I mean, at this point, I've got them limited to our street and nothing else.
Right.
Right.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, you know what? Play some more Fortnite. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
just do it.
Besides, after this is all over, maybe that'll translate into some MLG type
Yeah, that's it.
pro level gaming.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
I mean, esports are all that's left at this point.
we used to. Well, now that the XFL is gone.
Now that the XFL.
Is the XFL gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They finally.
yeah.
Did they? I mean, they shut down completely. Or?
Oh yeah. No, it
Yes.
is
Oh,
finished.
wow.
They laid people
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Jeez.
There is no XFL anymore.
They picked
I mean,
a great season to start that back.
we-
up.
Yeah, really.
The three of us sat around, in our youth playing video games all day, and now look at
That's
us.
true.
We're on the internet talking about video games. So,
Living the dream.
so really,
We've really gotten outside of our comfort zone, haven't
this
we?
is called setting our kids up for success.
Uh,
Is what this is.
that's something.
I agree with part of that statement.
Maybe one day they'll have their own video game podcast.
Maybe.
Hey, you know what?
I
That will
just
be
assume they're going to take over this one in another like 10 years.
well.
It better.
There's, I mean, it's just going to be white people, but there'll be a couple girls in there, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, we're helping to broaden.
Well, maybe one. I mean, I'm not saying that all my kids will take over. And
Well-
really, the way it's trending, it'll probably be Holden. So
Sounds like Canada's got a discipline problem.
Fun. We have fun.
Don't we?
But we talk about some video game news.
Mhm.
Because last week, Sony debuted the DualSense controller. This is the PlayStation 5's
I missed the
controller.
6-axis.
That's what this one's called, the dual
DualSense.
Because,
sense.
it used to be Dual Shock. And now
Is it
It has to be
dual
something
as
different.
in two, or like it's time to duel?
Dual as
Like-
in there's two
like-
analog sticks.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh. So it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Not like
that was
Yu-Gi-Oh.
a Yu-Gi-Oh
Not
reference.
at
It's
all.
not
Okay.
like Yu-Gi. You know what though? There are some listeners who were growing up in the 90s and early aughts who heard that and they were like, "Oh man, that Phil, he gets it. He may be old, but he gets.
He's one of us.
Yeah.
He gets us kids of today." Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Space Jam. Am I right, everybody? Woo! Yeah, Space Jam.
So this one
Okay.
has haptic feedback
Uh-huh.
in a different way than the DualShock. So the sort of vibration motors are gone, and it's got like a new haptic rumble system. So that's pretty
I'm
interesting.
curious
And
to know what that's about.
the L2 and L2 R2 buttons have an adaptive trigger system that, and I think Xbox One had this as well, where they say in the PlayStation blog post where you can feel the tension of your actions, like when drawing a bow to shoot an arrow, which is
Damn.
always the example.
So they have
used.
rumble in the triggers. That's what they're saying.
Everything
Yes.
I do, I feel the tension in my actions. These days,
Most
with
of
the
us
world,
do as well.
the world the way it is,
I know, right?
everything I do causes me incredible tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see how this thing looks, by the way? Because it
Looks like something from
Astrobot's head.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it does. You're right.
It's looks like it's wearing a little black dress.
Not seeing that.
Really?
Where? Oh yeah. Okay, now I see it.
Yeah, no, it's got the
Now
little
I
it's
see
the
it.
straps. It's got the little straps. It's got the little kind of
Hang on, I gotta look at a picture of it again.
part of the dress.
This is like looking at that picture of two faces. Where
I
there's
don't
also like a
understand.
vase in the middle, and
I don't understand ladies' clothing, so I don't know what the boob covers. The boob
Apparently.
cloak. Is that what that top part of a dress is
boob
called?
cloak.
The boob. Wait, I know
Oh,
straps. You got
spaghetti
the,
strap dress is
yeah,
I
you got
see
the
what you're
spaghetti
saying.
straps. And
Yeah.
you got
Uh-huh.
the boob cloak, and then
Mm-hmm.
the swishy part. That's the bottom half of the dress. That's what that part's called. You can't see that. That's up to the imagination.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All
The
right. then.
weirdest. I did not expect the DualSense controller conversation to go this way.
No, I also did not.
Well,
They have changed the name of the share button. So the
Ooh.
share and option buttons are still there, but now it's a create button.
oh wow.
And then the
God.
option button it's just a little hamburger menu. It's not.
They should have just
actually
called
given
it the. They should have just called it the influence button. I mean, let's
the
Oh,
influence
yeah.
call it what it is.
button.
That'll be next
Yeah.
gen.
Yeah.
The create button.
If they do that, I
Create
want
button.
credit.
Man, that's deep.
I mean, it's interesting because both systems allow you to record like a section of gameplay and edit it and post it to social media, but and both platforms, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, currently have like a way to gussy it up with like intros and outros and like camera cuts and things.
Mm-hmm.
But at least in my experience, those particular interfaces, the gussying it up is just a terrible experience. It's never fast. Like
CJ's got places to be.
I
Yeah.
got places to be. I want to I really prefer the sort of method that the Switch uses for doing clips and posting them on social
Shocking.
media. It's very easy to like go in and do that really quickly.
CJ
and post it.
prefers the Switch.
It's not as easy on PlayStation or Xbox One. So I hope that's
Call
something
CNN.
I hope that's something that this next generation addresses, shall we say. Or what else create means if not sharing a clip of your gameplay? You know what I'm saying?
I hope create means I get to create my own custom skateboards in the next Tony Hawk game and then
Mhm.
sell them for Xbox points.
I'm sure that'll happen. Yeah.
Got my
Like, what's her
Velocity
name?
Girl.
Velocity Girl. There
Velocity
she is.
Girl, yeah.
Hero
Yeah.
protagonist.
Which was it was a band back in the day, Velocity Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Was
Yeah, I
there a
believe-
band called Velocity Girl?
Yeah, they're absolutely. I saw them live. They
Wow.
were fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, this was probably what, late '90s again, mid late '90s. Velocity Girl was a thing for a brief
Okay.
moment.
Yeah.
They were great. I really enjoyed Velocity Girl.
Okay.
Mhm.
The controller also has a microphone array built in. So this is the first time like a microphone setup has been built into a PlayStation controller.
You mean besides the Famicom?
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
PlayStation controller.
I said
Yeah.
PlayStation controller.
All right.
So what you're saying is once again Sony's stealing from
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you'll be able to quickly chat with friends without a headset. I don't know if anybody, if you guys tried Plants vs Zombies
I'm
Garden
just-
Warfare on
I'm
the
just gonna
Xbox
say,
One
you
when
could
the
quickly-
Kinect was first out.
You could quickly chat with friends without a headset on the Genesis, the Telegenesis modem. I just want you to know
Okay.
that was a thing.
But so when the
Yeah, I
when the
remember
Xbox
using
One
the
came
Kinect
out
for
with
stuff like that.
Kinect, some games that had online play used
Mhm.
the Kinect microphone by
Yep.
default and turned it on.
Oh.
So
Those were the
whenever you
days when
joined,
Microsoft just turned on microphones in your living room.
when you joined a match, you
Mm.
would immediately hear the ambient noises
Oh,
from
dear.
the living rooms of people who didn't realize the
People yelling at
microphone
their
was
children.
on.
Mom, get me a Mountain Dew.
This is
it,
Want some
exactly
yourself.
goddamn mother effing chocolate milk.
this is exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not like on by default for voice chat in games. 'Cause that
I
would
give
be
it-
ridiculous.
I give it about 7 hours of gameplay before mine will be the microphone holes will be caked shut with Cheeto dust.
That long.
So everything
Ah.
else is going to sound like this.
Well, at least there is a mute button directly on the pad itself, so
Oh,
that
yeah?
you can just hit that and
Mm.
be fine.
Where's the mute button at?
It's underneath the PlayStation logo.
Oh, okay.
See that little button there?
Maybe if
nubbin?
I was looking at a picture of the controller, I would.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the picture of the controller.
Well,
either.
there's a link in the show outline that you may have access to that you could take a look at.
This one right
no,
here.
we stopped sharing the outline with Phil a long time ago.
That one right there.
Look
Yes.
at
Kept
this.
us writing
Let me-
fart on it over and over again.
So the controller is sort of a duo-tone white, black, and blue light bar type of thing. But I imagine just like PS4, that the color of that light can change.
yeah.
What do you guys think of this as the look for not only the controller, but I imagine the system itself will have similar styling to this and
I
probably
think-
be two-tone.
I think I
majority
don't
white.
dust nearly enough to have an all-white system. In fact, I really hope that we go matte black for every console from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the gloss is no good either. The gloss is just, it
Mm.
shows the dust too easily.
That is true. And fingerprints.
Yeah.
And fingerprints. Oh,
Oof,
man.
yeah.
And man, if this house is full of anything, it's fingerprints.
Yep. I think this needs to be redone in Sakura Pink, as all PlayStation
Sold.
systems and controllers should be.
Well, one can imagine that as this next generation proceeds, there will be various colors offered. That's just
Right.
par for the course, really. But I am wondering, since this does have a bunch of new features that the PlayStation 4 controller did not have, and it has a microphone array, what
Mhm.
the MSRP of this is going to be. You know, normally
Mm.
when you're talking about extra controllers at a system launch, they are expensive. Like we're not
Yeah.
at the point, you know, with this generation, a lot of people are used to, you know, DualShock 4 is going for what, $35. Probably not the case with the DualSense, especially with more features put into this thing.
Yeah.
I could see this being more expensive than a pair of Joy-Cons, which are Joy-Con pairs like $79.99, right?
Something like that.
So yeah, see this
Controllers
being
are already
kinda
crazy
pricey.
expensive up here anyway, so this
Mm.
is nothing new for your friends north of the border.
Right, exactly. But if this is going to have a fairly decent microphone array and speaker, it's not going to be cheap.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Because there was an Inside Xbox show last week streamed, and I usually watch the Inside Xbox presentations because especially this one had a Sea of Thieves bit. So
Hoping to catch a glimpse of Major Nelson.
Right. I want to see inside Major Nelson's
Skull.
home office. So,
So much.
so they did the Inside Xbox show from home on like a video conferencing thing, and I believe it was all pre-taped. But the fact that they didn't have like any in-studio banter between hosts, it was a pretty tight show. It was only like 45 minutes long instead of the usual like hour and a half. Because they kept things
Hour and a
moving
half.
rather
Really?
well. Yeah.
That's how long it normally is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Usually it's pretty long.
Jesus.
But they went over the Obsidian game Grounded, which gets an early access, Xbox game preview launch in July. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. They also went over the next Sea of Thieves update, which I won't bore you about, but it's good. It's very good. Very excited.
More boats, more water.
But exactly. But I really liked the pacing of the show, and I hope they continue to leave it sort of this tighter presentation style, even though not too many debuts or anything on this month's show. But
it's going to be interesting to see what changes remain in place post pandemic.
Right.
In a lot of ways, in a lot of places. So yeah.
Indeed. And part of that is that Microsoft has announced company-wide, so this doesn't just affect the Xbox team, that all of their events will be digital first until August of 2021. So I imagine that means any sort of XO 2.0
XO Man of War
that they end up doing, or any sort of Xbox Series X sort of reveal event or game lineup reveal will all be done digitally. No audience or press. So
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
I don't need to hear the press cheering for everything.
Make it all Nintendo Direct style.
Yep.
Yeah. No need to have a cheering section. Just
in the press box.
Give us the info, and it'll be great. Or have like an MST3K thing, like that Cerny video. That'd be fine. Another interesting thing about Xbox. So this past week, the Xbox Twitter account, the official one, shared some Animal Crossing shirt patterns. Yeah, like Xbox wear that you can put into Animal Crossing, which I think is just a fantastic sort of cross-brand
it's pretty
synergy thing going on there. Definitely cute.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Microsoft and Nintendo continue the love affair.
They really do. And I'm there for it. I'm into it. So we got news that Capcom is working on a Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yes.
Okay.
Now that RE3 is out, what's next? RE4. Going right to
sense.
It. Yeah.
It's weird that they're skipping Code Veronica though. Which
yeah,
that's too bad actually.
Which would need a remake before 4 does.
Yeah.
I wonder if that.
I'm sure we'll eventually get that though, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
It would be nice.
Maybe. Did they re-release Code Veronica on Switch?
They released it on PS2.
They've released it on a couple of other platforms. Obviously, it came out.
I don't know where it's shown.
Dreamcast.
It's kind of shown up everywhere on.
Yeah, I don't know what it's on.
Yeah, but anyway, there's going to be a Resident Evil 4 remake scheduled for 2022.
Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube, PS3, Xbox 360.
There you go.
Okay, so it stopped with the prior generation.
Yes.
All right.
So,
whereas the mainline our Resident Evil games have been re-released on everything, including Switch.
Aren't they? I mean, isn't that kind of the thing? Is that they're sticking with the mainline Resident Evil games? Because I mean, there's a couple different spin-offs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
sure, the light gun game.
But I mean,
yeah,
Code Veronica. I mean, technically a spin-off because it's not a numbered entry, but it's certainly closer to.
Well, I know that
Resident Evil than like Survivor or whatever.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
this remake is being led by a studio called M2, not to be confused.
Oh
with M2
man, I love those guys. Oh, they do those amazing arcade ports, the great emulation. Oh, this is
MTWO. Not that that's confusing at all.
Oh, this is like a Gallagher 2 situation.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're working on this, and it should be out in 2022.
TOO.
That's coming next.
Yeah. Starring Jason Bateman.
Mhm,
instead of
yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
They apparently have the blessing of Shinji Mikami,
What
Yeah.
does he care?
who isn't participating directly, but he's giving some advice.
Translation: getting paid.
Probably.
Yeah.
Consultant.
You guys do what you need to do. I'll cash the paycheck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
You have my blessing. A cha-ching.
A cha-ching.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're right up to what you've been playing.
Who's it now?
What you've been playing, and Greg,
Me?
you are up, sir.
You know what I spent most of the week playing?
What's that?
Video games.
Splendor.
I don't
The
know what that
artificial
is.
sweetener.
Yes. No, that's Splenda.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't know what
Not
this
to be
is.
confused with Toot Sweet.
Oh, the French exclamation. You got to get there too sweet.
Your French accent is so horrible.
It's
You have a lot of bad accents, but your French one is
Ah.
easily the worst.
wow. Thank you very much. It is.
I don't even know what it's supposed to.
It is very French. I don't know what you mean.
Very French.
It is very, very French. Zut
Mais
alors,
oui.
hein?
Zut
French bread.
Let us go to the cafe and have some French
French
bread.
French
fries.
fries. I don't think there's anybody in the
It-
world who says it. French fries.
French fries. I understand you have a Metal Gear Solid Part 2, Sons
deux.
of Liberté. It is like our
Viva
return to the womb.
Alrighty, Greg.
Yeah.
Splendor.
Splendor.
So yeah, Splendor
Tell
is
us
a
about
board
it.
game, and
So it's a
the
what
reason-
now?
A board game,
Oh, is it
not
like,
a boring game, a board game.
like a
Tabletop.
is
Like
it-
not
this
a
is
digital
actual-
board game. This is a real thing.
Well, no,
This
I
is
was
like-
playing the digital version, but it is a board
Oh,
game.
okay. Gotcha. Okay.
That I play with my crew, my board
Mhm.
game crew that includes
Crew.
CJ's best friend Mike
Uh-huh.
and CJ's best friend Mike's best friend Jim.
This is getting very confusing.
I know, isn't it great? Anyway, so yeah, the reason why this week is because normally every year Extra Life does a tournament down at Disney World called Extra Life United around this time every year, which Mike's in the chat channel, which I went to the original one years ago and haven't gone since because man, it's expensive to fly down to Florida from here. So I haven't done it. Of course, because of the pandemic, they had to cancel it this year. So they moved it to an all digital tournament where there was like 4, 5, or 6 games that were being played, maybe even more than that, that you could enter for free and play for large donations to your selected hospital. I think the prize pool was like $150,000. So I entered the Uno and the Splendor tournament because they were the two tournaments that didn't require any rapid hand movement skills. I don't know.
Okay.
Hand-eye coordination. I'm not going to win anything in Rocket League, is what I'm saying. So
Okay.
I
Me
only
neither.
made it to the second round in Uno, but I made it to the final 4 in Splendor.
Ah.
Wound up second.
Yeah.
What kind of game is Splendor?
It's I want to say
Board game, he
it's
just
kind of a
said.
deck
Well,
building
I know it's a
game.
board game, but
It's
like
kind of a
what-
deck building game. There's like
game?
there's
Let's
like
throw
3
out
rows
deck
of
building.
gem based cards, and then
Okay.
there are a lot of them. The second and third rows are worth points, and you have to like gather groups of gems to buy them. And as you buy them, they actually add to your stockpile, and you can buy more. And then the whole thing is whoever gets to 15 points first wins.
Okay.
So anyway, I ended up second, which was awesome. And so I was raising money separately from my regular Extra Life campaign for the year. Raised $751. Much of that due to the generosity of Player One listeners, actually, because I sort of sent out a request late in the game on our Discord,
Right.
and people came through, and I think I raised something like $250 in the space of 2 hours.
Wow.
Great.
So yeah, $751 raised there, plus earned a little over $5,000 from coming second for the IWK, off the IWK here in Halifax. So that was awesome, and I
Nice.
can't believe I made it that far. because when I play against Jim and Mike, I lose every time. So, yeah. But that was kind of cool. That's what I spent most of my week playing.
Nice.
I ended up canceling most of my streams this week because of it. And then I'm just playing Animal Crossing like crazy. Thank God Bunny Day is over.
Yes.
Even
were you able to
when-
craft all of the things?
I
And
was.
Did you get the special,
Yeah, the special.
Item.
Yeah.
the arch?
Yeah. Screw that, man.
Wow.
But then did you get the Bunny Day wand?
That was the special item.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The special item, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Craft. I had enough
Uh,
eggs where I didn't need to do any.
I couldn't, for the life of
stockpiling.
me, gather up enough sky eggs for anything. But having zipper there, and you
Mhm.
could trade, I had a ridiculous amount of every other kind.
Oh,
So
really?
I just traded, and I think I came in today only needing to craft 3 more recipes.
Okay.
So I did that, and then it's like, here's another recipe. Great. Now here's one more recipe, and that's your grand prize. And I'm like, screw you, Zipper. This was not worth it, especially because the eggs were still being coming up on the fishing rod yesterday
Right.
when the fishing tournament was happening.
Yeah.
Right. That
And
was
it's like,
frustrating.
man.
I got some
yeah.
cool prizes out of the fishing tournament, though.
I didn't even take
shirt.
part. I got so
What?
irritated. I got so irritated at the egg thing that I just didn't even take
Yeah.
part. There'll be another
Got a
fishing tournament.
Oh, wait.
Shirt. I got a rug. I got a wall. I got all kinds of things. Yeah.
I only did a little fishing. Yeah, I did enough to get I got 2 prizes. I got the anchor trophy,
Nice.
which is really cool. It's just a giant anchor with
Yep.
some mooring. Is that what rope is called when you're a pirate?
Maybe.
Mooring.
CJ doesn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You should know after
You would think.
1,500 hours or whatever.
I still remember though,
more than
every
that.
now and then when I was still jumping into Sea of Thieves every now and then, CJ giving directions and using words like port and bow and starboard. And I'm like, I don't know what those mean. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to channel Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon. Was it 3 where he's like yelling at Roger for getting all nautical? That's what it was
Yeah.
like. Where it's just like, man,
Sure.
just say left or right. Say front or back. Like, come on,
Yeah.
dude. We're not on a
Fine.
boat.
But we are a virtual.
Not
boat.
really.
Well, okay.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fishing tournament was pretty cool, and I guess there's another event coming up a little later in the month, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Mm.
I got some more pathways, some inclines going.
We haven't gotten that. We've
Yeah.
set up construction for our first incline.
Okay.
And my youngest and I moved our houses to the highest point on the island
Oh, really?
when we were able to do that. But unfortunately, you
Nice.
need a ladder to get there now. So-
Right.
but it was, I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't have as much sort of space around my house up there, but I like
You like
that
being
it's right at
able
the
to
top of the island. And
look
she was
down
excited.
on all the other villagers.
And she was excited to be able to do the same, but now we got to build some ramps up there, and we
Right.
can't build pathways yet. I don't think, or at least if we can, it hasn't talked to me about it. Because
I
we're still
imagine
trying to
you have
build it
not
up.
rolled credits then on the game.
There are credits.
Yes. There are credits, very similar to how other Animal Crossing games have done it.
Other
Is
Animal
it
Crossing
the-
games have had credits.
Is it when KK shows up?
When KK shows up, yes, you
So-
see the
Oh,
credits for the
right.
game.
So what do you do to trigger? Because I have not gotten KK in my village yet.
Right.
Right
You have to have
now, I'm in the midst
Three-star.
of that plan, which the first part of it was to build the campsite
Okay.
and bring in more people.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I've just convinced our first camper that he should move there. Now, of course, you got to go through the whole rigmarole of picking a spot for the house, and I'm sure that'll be the 6 items you have to add to the house as well.
no,
And-
you don't have to do
Oh,
that.
you don't
again.
anymore? Oh, okay.
No.
So that's like
Yeah.
step 1 of the
Okay.
plan to get KK to show up.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, the at a certain point they say after the resident services building is built that you have to talk to Isabel, and you have to have a 3-star island for KK to come visit.
How do you know how many stars your island is?
They'll tell you when you're at 3
They
stars.
tell you.
Oh, really?
Well, they tell you you can talk to Isabel and she will give you the evaluation.
Oh,
Will
okay.
tell you what it is, and then she
Hmm.
will also tell you what you can do next to get that raised. So one of them is have 10 residents on the island. So
Oh wow,
animal
including
residents.
you and other
I don't
players,
think
or
so. No.
oh, we have
I
a
don't
ways
think
to
so.
go then.
And
Oh, we have 6, I
then
think.
it's things like placing objects around or
Yes.
planting flowers and trees.
Mm.
So and then once you get to that point, then the next day KK will visit and the credits will roll and you get construction abilities. So you then can terraform any way you want.
Oh, without
okay.
having to pay for it all the time.
No. Well, inclines and bridges you still have to do, but in terms of like changing the water line or creating new ponds and things or waterfalls, you get access to all that. And then pathways as well. You can
Okay.
set down pathway patterns. So you buy those with Nook Miles and then you can set them down.
So we're kind of going, because one of the things that we did was the kids got really excited when a couple of playground style items started showing up. So we were kind of gathering them in one area. And then when I moved my house, it actually left a big open field where the house was, because I had a fairly big like garden and everything going there too. So that's turned into like the playground area. And we just unlocked like the pool and the
Oh
Yep.
man.
a couple of different things. So, but now we need to organize a little better. But right now there's like a jungle gym and a pool and a slide and things like that. So I
Yep.
think that we're going the right direction. And as soon as there was a little picnic item, we had to get that. And so there's like a little forest area where the kids decided we need to put a picnic set up. The food's got to go bad, but
Yeah.
you know, it's there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I bought like 300,000 bells worth of turnips today.
Oh.
Which has been great for me because it's funded house expansions and bridges and inclines last week. So last week I bought 200,000 worth and I got 1.5 million bells back.
Jeez.
damn,
that.
son.
So yeah. So we'll see what happens this week.
He's a
with
high roller.
300,000.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But there's a like turnip calculator on the web. I'll link to it in the show notes where, if you're diligent with it, you can list like what price you bought turnips at in your village and then what the AM and PM buying prices are each day. And it'll give you like a forecast of what the game is going to offer you each day. It's very handy
I see.
if you're into that sort of thing. I'm just
Get you indoctrinated into gambling mechanics there.
right, exactly. Yeah, get in with that stock market stuff early.
Yep.
Yeah,
I forgot that the lady who, well, I mean, she's not selling them now, but who runs the stock market is Sao Joan, which is great. God, I've forgotten how
well,
much.
it's
I love the
Daisy
writing.
May. Who's,
Well, I know, but it's her grandmother or something like that.
right? Yes,
Sao Joan.
yes.
I love the writing in that game.
It's great.
So dad joke.
I love it. It's fantastic. What else you got there, Greg?
That was really it.
That was it. You got Final Fantasy VII Remake on here?
Oh yeah, that's right. No, so I haven't actually played that.
Uh-huh.
I watched Ben Rivers stream that
Oh,
for
okay.
like 3 hours on Friday night, and it was enough for me to realize that I will never play that game.
Right.
Right. The if that's the type of game you're looking for, I'm sure it's fantastic. But it feels
what
so
way,
padded.
though?
It feels
In what way?
so padded.
Just the fact that it's padded out, or did you
Yeah, it just
find
takes forever for
with
anything to
the
happen.
gameplay?
I feel like there's
So-
enough gameplay options, honestly, to get you through whatever bothers you about it. You can switch to like classic mode if you really want to. If you want to turn the difficulty way down and have the internet laugh at you, because that's what happens now. But yeah, that I don't mind so much. Like I feel like I would have been okay with that based on the demo, but just watching him play it, like every section of what I watched, which was again like probably the first 3 hours of the game, was it just felt so padded and so convoluted, and like the pathways were the path to get anywhere was ridiculous. There wasn't enough, to me anyway, there wasn't enough battle going on. It definitely falls into that trap that I find, and this is based on very limited experience with JRPGs at this point, because I just don't play them that much anymore. But the few times that I have tried to play them, I've always run into something similar, where it's just like I feel like every single thought that a character has in the game needs to be talked about for 10 minutes.
Right.
Like there's just a ton of exposition that I don't think really needs to be there. At least, again, not for me. Some people like that, but I don't.
Sure.
Even little things like when you blow up, because I watch, the opening of the game. Most people know you blow up a reactor in Midgar. That's how the game opens. That's how it opened 23 years ago. And you escape, and then from escaping in the original game, you escape the reactor, and then you walk a couple of screens, and then you jump onto a train, and then there's a whole scene on the train where you're going down to the surface below Midgar. And that took forever, that section. And I liked what they did because they were expanding on it. Like before, you didn't see much. Like the explosion happened, you walked through a couple of screens, you met Eris, and then you were done. And in this one, they really want to drive home the fact that Avalanche is a terrorist group. Really, Shinra's terrible and everything, but they want to drive home the fact that there were other people living in Midgar, and so there's a lot of destruction and there's a lot of casualties and that sort of thing. So I do like that, like the expansion on the story. That makes total sense to me, especially where the whole thing's supposed to be based in what's going on in Midgar. That's apparently the whole game. So like you come out and you're in this area, and like there's giant pieces of rubble that have crushed buildings, and there's fire everywhere, and you see just regular folk on the side of the on the streets and everything like that. Some of them are injured, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is adding a lot more context, which is cool. That's important, I think. But that section goes on and on and on, and it's like there's no new message. It just takes forever to get through it, and then they've thrown in a bunch of extra exposition and stuff on top of it, which again, I know some people like. It's not for me. So yeah, watching that was enough to know, like, I'll probably never ever play this. And it was funny because a couple of us who were watching the stream, when he finally got to the train to get down to the surface, we were like, I wonder how long this, because it took a little over an hour and a half to do it. And I was like, I wonder how long that took in the original game. So we fired it up. A couple of us fired it up, and without really even hurrying, it was about 12 to 15 minutes of that old original game had been stretched out to over an hour and a half. And I don't have a major problem with that, but it just felt like it wasn't stretched out in the right way. There was a lot of having to walk slowly while characters talk to one another. There was a lot of no battles happening, just sort of wandering around the street, and it just didn't do anything for me. So looks pretty, besides the texture issues that people are calling out. But even watching Ben, you really kind of had to look for them. I found there's a couple obvious glaring ones, but overall you kind of had to look for them, and it really looks like it's a bug, that'll probably get patched out. But yeah, so that I just wanted to, I put that on my list because I spent,
you watched it, you
3 hours of my life.
It.
Yeah. I was exhausted by the end of the 3 hours. So
okay.
Made me want to play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ouch. All right then. Phil. What do you got for us?
Oh, well, I was obviously playing quite a bit of Animal Crossing as well, but
yeah,
we know about that. I did get my copy of Disaster Report 4, Summer Memories.
Disaster Report for your colon.
Yep.
I played the demo of this on Switch.
Yeah? What'd you think?
Not long. I did not play it long.
Have you played a Disaster Report game before?
I have.
Okay.
Back in the PS2 era.
Right.
When the jank
yes
and pacing was acceptable.
It feels.
Back when it started Britney Spears?
No.
What?
That was the
I remember
package,
people
right?
talking about the original packaging where it looked like Britney Spears on the cover.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
It kind of did.
I don't remember that.
They changed it so it was like a blonde.
Right.
Cover.
Yeah. One of those Disaster Report games, or Raw Danger, was one of the sequels that came out
Rodney
here.
Danger.
Yes. One of those games, I think they were trying to hide that the series was set in Japan,
Yeah.
and their big method of doing that was to take all the dark-haired characters in the game, which was the vast majority
I was
of
gonna
them,
say almost all of them.
and just
Right.
turn them all blonde.
Right.
So, so instead of just having an entire city or boat or whatever full of brunettes,
Right.
you have just it's nothing but blondes as far as the eye can say.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it does feel like a PS2
PS2
game,
game.
and it's slow and kind of
point-
janky.
To the point where I was walking down the street
Yeah,
and it would cut to a load sequence
yeah,
as if I had just like gone into another room.
Yeah,
but I've been
exactly.
outside the whole time.
right. But it did after it loaded, did like something like the earth start shaking again or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
they're
course.
whatever they're loading in the next event, but it just really just that's the time you pick to load. Just
Sure.
stop.
So they're
Yeah.
not streaming the world, clearly.
Absolutely not. No. And like I'm assuming the demo is just the first part of the game where you're on the bus and,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and the earthquake hits and you're kind of trapped in an intersection, basically. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's not even like you're in a big area. It's like
No,
it's not a
no, you're
big
not.
open area. You are in a very confined
Yeah.
like kind of crosswalk area.
It was funny. It's like on the bus, you're saying, I'm gonna get out at the park.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting like a big sprawling park. No,
Right.
it's just like a tiny section
Yeah.
in the corner.
It's like a small patch of grass where like 5 people can stand.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a green space where
Yeah,
half
exactly.
dozen people are hanging out.
There's like a bench and about a yard's worth of grass. And
But
by
it
a
strikes
yard, I
me
mean,
that
like
this-
3 feet.
Oh, thank
This
you.
Yeah.
game is much more about like the atmosphere.
Oh yeah,
And talking with people, because at least in the demo, and I'm sure this extends to the final game, it asks you just a bunch of questions about your personality type, and then also you get to pick your character's responses to people in the
Right.
world a whole lot. And
Yeah.
it's not just like pick between these 3 answers. It's like here's 9
Yeah,
selections.
exactly. They range from kind of like normal stuff like, oh, I really want to help as many people as I can. I need to protect myself. I got to save my loved ones. What should I have for dinner tonight?
Right, exactly.
There's always a few kind of just random what the hell.
Right.
And then there's like a morality meter that keeps track of stuff. So if like when you're on the bus, an old lady shows up and you can offer her your seat or not, and you get
Which
points.
I did offer.
Of
her
course
my-
you did, because you're a kind-hearted human being, Christopher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You really are.
Exactly. But yeah, it's a weird game. I mean, it's like you were saying, and it is very janky, but I'm enjoying the little bit. I haven't gotten very far. I'm still in that early section. I haven't had much time to play it this week, unfortunately. But yeah, you're helping a teacher track down her missing students who have run off into buildings and don't seem terribly concerned with the earthquake that was so powerful that it split roads,
Right.
where you have like, a roadway and then like a 10-foot wall where the other road has risen up, or collapsed skyscrapers. I mean, there are buildings at like 45-degree angles leaning up against other buildings. So this is
Yeah.
a horrifically destructive earthquake. But these teenage girls are like, "Ooh, now's a good time to go clothes shopping. Let's go into this abandoned department store and see if
There's a
they
whole
have
lot
any
of
cute
parallels.
outfits."
There's a whole lot of parallels to what's going on right
There
now.
really are.
Right.
They really are.
Right.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I and I got the PS4 version because there's a VR mode as
Right.
well, which I've not had a chance to bust out yet. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that's like. Probably pretty janky.
I would
thinking.
imagine. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all for it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got that. Oh, my copy. We talked about this last week. Cooking Mama.
Yeah. Did it arrive?
Cook Star. It should be here hopefully tomorrow. It
Okay.
was
I heard
ori-
it's like Target is selling it too.
really.
Like, yeah, I saw some pictures on Twitter of people who bought it at
Oh wow.
brick and mortar
Target.
stores. Yeah.
I had to run to Target yesterday and did not see it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was originally supposed to show up yesterday, but you know, pandemics being what they are, I guess it's slowing the USPS down a smidge. So
yeah.
it's according to tracking, it was in Seattle and now it's on its way to my local post office. So presumably I'll have it tomorrow.
When we were talking before, you were talking about how shady.
Yeah.
Have you
Right.
learned more about that? Are you going to play this? I see some people on my Twitter stream actually playing the game.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if it's been a thing, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm tempted to just kind of leave it sealed just because
Right.
I've heard, I mean, the Cooking Mama games, I played a couple of them on like the
DS.
DS and 3DS, and they're
Wii.
cute. Oh yeah, there was a couple Wii ones,
Mhm.
weren't there?
Yeah.
I don't think I played any of the console, which I guess was just the Wii versions, but I don't think I ever played the console ones. But
Mhm.
but I mean, they're fun little games. You know,
Sure.
they're cute.
Yeah.
Certainly, I think Finn would have a blast with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard, because again, this game has, you know, the original creators of Cooking Mama apparently have nothing to do with this game.
Right.
It's just some other company got the rights to the license and decided to do this. So it's apparently, I've heard it's not very good. Even by,
And
you
they
know,
took music from YouTube.
did they really? I didn't
Wow.
see
Yeah.
that.
There's like a bunch of different things. And then somebody said
Wow.
that the reason it got pulled off the eShop was that the original IP holders
Uh-huh.
discovered that this other company had released it already.
Oh.
And
Yes.
so they contacted Nintendo and were like, they
Wow.
don't have permission to do that.
Oh
Got it
wow.
pulled. So
Okay, yeah, because I have heard that the, you know, blockchain stuff or whatever it was that they were doing
yeah,
is
it's not in there.
not in the game,
Right.
and that apparently the investors, or the company that originally put out that press release when they were starting to make the game, they were looking for investors, and they
Yeah,
were
and
just
that's a buzzword.
exactly, they were just trying to hook some vulnerable idiotic billionaire investors to throw money at their games with
Right.
promises of more money.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's apparently not very good, and it sounds like the kind of overheating and the battery drain is not because it's secretly like mining
No.
bitcoins or whatever. It's just
poorly made.
It's a Unity
Yeah.
game, poorly made.
yeah.
Right.
So I don't think I think I'm gonna keep it sealed for
Okay.
the time being, just because
Collector value.
I have a feeling that game is gonna end up being
I think you're probably right.
worth some money at some point. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not hurting anyone sitting on my shelf sealed.
Yeah.
So
Really, you're protecting the rest of the world.
yeah, really. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that arrives tomorrow. Oh, you know what I did pick up though this week? You know, there's a lot of video game sales digitally
Yeah.
happening right
Mhm.
now to take advantage of the pandemic. I saw that Mortal Kombat 11,
Mm-hmm.
which I had not yet played. I've been wanting to play it, just because the recent, you know, the new, ever since Mortal Kombat 9, which was just called Mortal Kombat,
Yep.
the Mortal Kombat games have been pretty fun, and certainly they've had really great story modes and everything. And I've been wanting to play 11, but you know, it's also one of those ones where it's like, oh, there's season passes and loads of DLC characters and stuff
content,
like that.
right.
So it's like, I'm gonna just not get it right away and wait for a complete
Okay,
version or something.
I missed what you said though. How much is it right now?
There was, well, originally I saw it on Switch for like you could get the vanilla version of the game, I think, for like $30 or maybe maybe $20. But for $30, you could get the deluxe edition, whatever they want to, the one that has the season pass and
Right.
all the DLC characters and stuff for like $30.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I think, I might crack for that. But I was a little concerned because it's on Switch, which is what my kid plays constantly.
Yeah.
And I
didn't hear that the Switch version wasn't the best either.
well, yeah, I mean, there's also
that
that, yeah. So it's
But
like,
then you'd have that game icon in front of Finn, and
yeah,
you'd be tempted to
and
try it.
yeah, it's like I don't need him shutting down Animal Crossing and then loading up Mortal Kombat.
Right.
So, but then on PS4, there was a bundle, and I think it was like $40, where you got the deluxe edition of Mortal Kombat 11 and the deluxe edition of Injustice 2,
Oh, right.
which is
That's
another
a pretty good deal.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a great deal. So I picked that up,
Mhm.
and I've been kind of lightly bouncing back and forth between those two.
So did that come with the
Cool.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Because that's the most important part.
It
of Injustice
absolutely
2.
did.
Okay.
It came with the Injustice 2 is the kind of like the complete. You get all the characters, so you got Hellboy and
I have to grab that eventually.
yeah, the Turtles, and I forget who else. But yeah, so I've been starting kind of going through the story modes for those games, and
Cool.
yeah, those are fun. Those are fun games. So,
I've heard good things.
and I'm kind of holding out because it's very heavily rumored that at some point Ash Williams from the Evil Dead series is going to show up as a DLC character in Mortal Kombat. So
Nice.
I'm very
Right.
much looking forward to that as well, because I would imagine they'll get Bruce Campbell to record some new lines and things like that. So that should be very good.
Very
I would
nice.
think so.
Yeah. So yeah, so I've been playing some fighting games, some
Cool.
story-based fighting games.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I tried a new game this week. A couple
Uh-huh.
of new games, I guess. First of all, there's a game, I believe it's in early access on Steam, but it's also available on iOS and Google Play, called Bomber Grounds.
Mhm.
This game is a battle royale style Bomberman game.
Mm.
So it's free to play with a season pass, which you don't have to buy. But it is 25 opponents in this grid set up very much like a classic style Bomberman. And you just try to be the last one standing. And you have bombs and a little like bat as well, so that you can like basically like bat away bombs. You can hit
Bombs.
them. You can hit them in any direction, and also stun players. So you can use those, and it also has various power-ups that you can collect that have like a time-limited shield. They have ones that'll give you a larger blast radius. They'll give you faster movement speed, things like that. The classic sort of Bomberman power-ups, right? In this sort of very fast-paced battle royale style game with 25 opponents. So it's pretty cool. I'm liking it.
Hmm.
And it's free to play. So it's a good little time waster or palate cleanser after playing something else. It's kind of fun to just hop in and see what you can do. But since it's also available on mobile, there's a larger pool of people to play with, since I believe it's crossplay. So
Cool.
yeah. Also, our friend Cameron Davis
Yes.
from the land down under sent me a code
Wow.
for
It's
Ty.
almost as bad as Phil's French accent.
I know. I can't do accents. I can't. It's not good. Sent me a code for Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
He sent one of those to me as well.
Me as well.
Yeah. Which thank you very much, Cameron,
Yeah.
for sending that to me. So I loaded it up, and Charlotte and I played a bit of it, and she was having a lot of fun with it. Of course, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger came out in like 2002 originally on the PlayStation 2, GameCube, original Xbox, and October 2002, in fact. And Charlotte is not a platform gaming snob or anything, so she's very open to old school style collectathons or like that style of game. Like, and she immediately was like, "Oh, this is a platform game." Very smart, that one. But she really enjoyed running around as Ty and collecting eggs and using her boomerang against enemies.
Oh, yes.
And the game itself, like it's a remaster on Switch. That was the code that I got, and it definitely looks like a PS2 game with a widescreen look, but it moves pretty fast. I think it's like 60 frames a second. It looks very smooth on the Switch.
Yeah.
But it's not like the recent Spyro remake where everything is beautiful. You can still see some of the rough edges on Ty, but we were having quite a bit of fun with it. We got up to the swimming mechanic, and Charlotte very afraid of sharks, so he's talking
tough
to the
too.
sharks.
The swimming mechanic. It's hard to
Yeah.
swim when you're carrying all those tools around with you. You see, he's a mechanic. He's a person who is employed as a mechanic, and he's swimming. Do you see?
Is that what's going on?
Yep.
Okay, then.
If that joke was an Animal Crossing, Greg would have been cracking up.
But anyway, we're having a lot of fun. with it.
Gulliver
This
said
is
that.
a recent release on Switch,
You're right.
and
See?
it's apparently coming to PlayStation 4 and
Yeah.
Xbox One as well.
Yeah, Finn's been enjoying some Ty as well. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah, it's a
also
cute little game.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Spyro thing. I actually picked that up this week as
I did
well
too.
on the Switch for Finn. Just
It was
because
cheap, $20 bucks.
Yeah, $20 for 3 Spyro games.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the time of reliving old 3D platformers is here.
I know.
Gotta
they're
kill
all
some time
new.
somehow.
They're all new to Finn, so he's happy.
And Charlotte as well. Yeah.
Yep.
One of the other things that was cheap on the Switch is Ubisoft's Uno game.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I love me some Uno.
they released Uno on Switch. Like, it was one of the early releases on Switch, and they did a couple of updates, but the last time they had updated it was like 2018. And then in the middle of March last month, they put out a new mode for it, and then they dropped the price this past week. So it's $5 for Uno on the Switch. And it includes a bunch of different sort of themed modes. Like there's a Rabbids version of
Yeah,
Uno.
it's all Ubisoft stuff, right?
Yeah. So it includes some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever their dance.
Just dance.
Just Dance.
Yeah.
That's the name of their. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Phil gave it to you.
Just
Exactly
Dance.
what I
That's the
said.
one.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to
So-
josh you. He was.
But you can play it locally or online with multiple Switches. So since it was on super discount, I bought a copy I already had it from back 2 years ago when it came out, or 3 years ago, and then bought a copy for Charlotte, and we played Uno digitally.
If I'm going to be playing Uno digitally online, I need to be
Yeah.
looking at some stranger's junk
Well, we were playing
to
local
have-
matches, so no looking
to
at
have the full experience.
no Xbox Live Arcade camera
That's too
version
bad.
of Uno.
That's
No.
too bad.
Yeah. But hey, it's pretty fun.
Did you get the deluxe edition that has the other
Flip.
Uno Flip? Is that what it's called?
Uno Flip is what it's called. No, I did not. Did you pony up the extra $3 or whatever?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Okay.
I got some Uno. I haven't played Uno Flip yet, but I have Uno Flip
Okay.
for when I'm ready to flip my understanding of the world of Uno.
I see.
Yes.
Yes.
So tell you what, that PS5 controller with built-in microphone will be great for Uno, because you won't have to hit a button to yell Uno when you put that last card down. You can just
I'm sure they'll find a way to
you can just
you
yell
still have to
Uno.
Press the button. Uno.
That's all you got to do. Just yell Uno
Yeah,
when you slap that card down.
guess so.
Yep.
Where'd Greg go?
I don't know. Up your butt. Have you looked up your butt?
Hold on a second.
Okay, go take a look up your
Nope.
butt.
Not there.
Nope. Okay.
I looked.
Maybe you didn't go deep enough. There's a lot of twists and turns up there. I don't know. I mean, there's miles of tunnels and crevasses therein. I don't know if you've studied anatomy, but
Well, hold on one second.
okay.
We'll be right back.
Oh, he turned off the camera, folks. So he must really be doing the deep
I'm
dive.
seriously looking. No, he's not here. No,
Nope.
no, tried everything.
Okay.
What's going on?
There he is. CJ just had his hand up his butt. Greg, you missed it.
I saw that he was. I saw that his camera was turned off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
he was taking the low road up around the Brown
Poo
Bend.
corner.
Yeah. Welcome to Poo Corner.
All right.
Oh boy.
I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Oh, we're doing that this week, are we?
Yes, we are.
Sounds like somebody's in pain.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Hacker alias Cub Life 7 says, do you find it better to buy a new system when it comes out or wait at least a year?
I love buying a new system when it comes out, but I feel like I should wait at least a year at a time. But I always fall for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It for me, I think I've mentioned this on the show plenty of times before, but for me, it really depends on if there is a game I want to
Right.
play at launch.
Because
If
you
there-
didn't buy an Xbox One for a long
I
time.
did not. I absolutely did not.
Yeah.
And
Until Crackdown 3.
Till Crackdown 3.
Boy, good call.
Well,
Well, PSO2 is in open beta now
Oh, I should
on the
I should
Xbox.
get in on some of that.
You can get achievement. You can earn achievements now in PSO2.
Oh, can you really?
Turn
Look at
those
that.
on. Yeah.
Wow.
People still care about that.
Apparently.
Yes. Apparently.
What's
so.
your gamer score, CJ?
I think it's above 30,000 now
Wow.
at this
Is that,
point.
I'm trying to think if that's.
I don't know if that's good or not.
Is
Trying
that
to remember
good?
what mine is.
I don't remember.
56,000.
Is it really? Or is that a guess?
No, I'm. It's on. I happen to have a tab open that's still open to our old message board.
There we go.
I
Mine's 36,000.
have a Coke Zero open. So it's pretty cool that they still sell Tab up in Canada.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
buying new systems at launch.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, it's kind of fun to be on that. For me,
Yes.
it's nothing except sort of the new being in on the new tech, experiencing it right away.
That's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes, of course, that has downsides.
I was gonna say, all the
OS
frustration that
is
goes with that.
unfinished and slow or whatever. But
is-
it's still fun.
Greg, what did you say your gamer score was?
56,000.
Okay, I just looked up mine. 39,325.
Wow, you're beating me too, huh?
Apparently.
I gotta get
Also
after
looking
it.
at the most recent games that I've played on my Xbox Live
Fortnite.
account, and I don't think I've actually played any of these games.
Activity feed.
No?
There is no
Oh.
recent activity to display.
Yeah. These are all games my
Wow.
son plays.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, then.
man.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Rich Grisham, who says,
Mhm.
have your gaming habits changed at all since the quarantine has started? Playing more, the same, or less? And any change in type of game you want to play?
I wish it had.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of jokingly, I think it was last week, I was kind of jokingly complaining about this, where kind of my day to day hasn't changed all that
No.
much.
Just the place where you're
I'm
doing it has changed.
yeah, and by doing it,
It's in any room we want now,
yeah.
as long as Finn's locked in his room.
I mean, obviously, I'm fortunate enough to still have a job to do during the week, so it's not like I really have free time during the day because I'm working
games, right.
and of course I have a kid, so I'm helping manage his schoolwork and stuff like that. So no, my gaming time is still just kind of like in the evenings,
Right.
that sort of thing. Maybe I'll occasionally take a break during the day and jump into my Animal Crossing village with Finn.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
You are describing my day.
Yeah.
Like that's because it's the exact same thing. I'm not less busy now.
Right.
I'm actually, if anything,
Yeah.
I might even be a little more busy right now.
Well, that's just it, because again, we are fortunate, very fortunate enough to have not been laid off or let go during this. So yeah, we are still working our full-time job, but also managing kids.
Yep.
On top of it. So
yeah. So, and it's the same thing. I mean, I sort of always had kind of a really regimented way that I play, and that hasn't changed at all. I would love to say it had. I shouldn't say that I wouldn't want to have the free time, because that would mean that I'm not working. But
yeah.
Like it would be nice to have that extra time and be able to sit down and spend a few hours playing one of the bigger games that I own rather than picking away at the smaller stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I jump in and play some Animal Crossing usually during lunch hour, and then I'm back to work. So yeah.
Alrighty,
CJ, has anything changed for you?
Well, for me, I am in charge of keeping Charlotte entertained and educated during this.
Oh boy.
Yes.
So while my wife is doing her stuff, she's a freelancer, so she still has work coming in. And so, yeah, since Charlotte is home, it's basically daddy-daughter time all the time during the day, which is good. But
congrats on not calling it babysitting.
yes. So, I mean, I've been playing stuff while she's doing math homework occasionally, mostly Animal Crossing, like something that I can put down quickly or pause. So, yeah. Let's do this one from hacker alias Sam Q Wood, who says, I've been fishing a lot in Animal Crossing, and it got me thinking about the long history of fishing minigames. Any favorites? Breath of Fire 3 is still the golden standard, in my opinion. Love the show. Here's to a dozen more.
I normally have no patience for fishing minigames.
Yeah.
But I'm playing, probably the last time I was really into it at all was the last time I played Animal Crossing.
Right. Yeah, Animal Crossing's fishing mechanic just is preferable to other fishing mechanics.
Yeah.
Like there's fishing in Zelda games,
right?
Quite often, and the fishing mechanic in Sea of Thieves is sort of similar to the Zelda mechanic, where you have to move the analog stick, animal stick, analog stick back and forth.
Love animals.
Depending on where the fish is pulling, and
if I move the animal stick here, they'll start pulling.
You can only reel in when the fish is tired out and things like that. I much prefer the Animal Crossing approach, where it's one
just
button
waiting for it to be pulled under, and then
exactly
give it a
and you
yank.
don't even in Animal Crossing you don't even have to tap the button. You just hold it down. It'll do it.
Yep. Give it a quick tap. Yesterday during the fishing tourney, got the achievement
for 100.
For the 100, catching 100 fish in a row without missing any. So
right.
Now I
don't think I'll ever get that.
Now I can relax.
I don't know that I will either.
Now I don't have to tense up every time I
So
see
bad
the
at
fish take the turn towards my.
I've realized
What
when
was
I'm
that?
fishing in that game, if one of my kids says something, I'll press the button. Just
really?
automatically. I don't know. It doesn't startle me, and I'm not tensed up. It's just something I do.
You're waiting to hear it.
I think so.
You're just waiting to hear that noise.
Yeah.
Finn and I have we've ended up getting an unspoken rule where if one or the other is fishing, as soon as that fish turns like it's going to start approaching the hook, the other person shuts up until we get them on the hook, and then we
And
can
did you
start
phrase
talking.
it like that when you were establishing this rule?
You're ruining
Like,
it.
Well, like again, it was unspoken. It was a kind of a mutual, you know.
Yeah.
We both realized it's like, oh, okay, let's
My kids sorted it out, and they've started telling each other to shut up whenever
nice.
I cast at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, finally hit the 100, so I can
Nice.
exhale now and just
Yeah.
not have to worry about it.
But yeah, Animal Crossing is my answer for favorite fishing mini game because it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels fun.
Right.
You know what? My favorite fishing mini game is that Street Pass fishing game.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
yeah,
a good
right.
one.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but
Yeah.
you know the one I'm talking about.
I
Then.
do. I do.
Yeah.
That one was really fun.
Yes.
I miss Street Pass games. Those
Yeah.
were so good.
They were great. They wouldn't work too well right now.
Well.
No.
No.
Well, and then the Street Pass fishing was developed by, was it like Yuji Naka's company?
Yeah,
or
Yuji
something?
Naka's company. Yes.
And they did a Wii fishing game as well. By Prope is the company.
Yep.
Probe. Yeah.
And Prope did yes for the Wii Fishing Resort, which is basically like a full retail game.
With
That
the
is
mechanic of the Street Pass game.
which is using that mechanic. Ultimate
That's cool.
Angler is the Street Pass game.
There we go.
But if you want a full version of that with like a little adventure mode kind of wrapped around it, Fishing Resort for the Wii is the way to go.
Mhm.
So
Let's do this one from hacker alias Super Barty Bros, who says some games are closer to movies than they are to other video games. Games are obviously different, but should we change the way we talk and review those games? A Plague Tale, Innocence, and Uncharted are almost like interactive movies. Is it fair to compare them to games like Doom Eternal or Breath of the Wild that use pretty much all the buttons on a controller the whole time? Or does this just prove how diverse video games are as an art form?
I mean, the similarity, I think, there is that they're all interactive media, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that I guess that's what they share. I guess, yeah, it does prove how diverse that art form is.
Sure.
Because I mean,
Well, I think games like A Plague Tale, Innocence, and Uncharted have a larger focus on story, but that doesn't mean that Breath of the Wild is any less affecting to the player necessarily.
I think it still comes down to you're still judging. I mean, you're spending more time judging story in a game like that than you would for something not story based, obviously. But there's still like a core gameplay loop that kind of, dictates whether it's good or bad. I mean, if it's a great story but a terrible gameplay loop,
Right.
probably going to be pretty poorly reviewed.
Right.
Whereas I think a middling story will affect a great game less than a terrible game affecting a great story.
Well, and the gameplay of Plague Tale and Uncharted are still fun, right? They're still
That's what I mean.
addictive in their own way. It's not
Yeah.
like we were talking about Disaster Report a little bit ago. Like that has maybe a very strong story, but its gameplay design in the loop is sort of janky.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be reviewed as well as a Plague Tale or Uncharted or unless you're going to a review outlet that is reviewing games based on narrative, which I don't know if such a site exists at this point, but yeah. All right,
my
let's
Zoom
do.
just crashed, so I missed all of that.
It wasn't important. It wasn't important.
Okay.
Yeah, you like games, right? Video games, they're diverse.
Some of them.
Okay. Let's do this one from hacker alias
Love it
Pierrot.
when CJ announces the tweet before he's actually chosen the tweet.
I know.
You love it.
And
yeah.
now a tweet from a particular
Now a
user.
tweet.
that I have
I am
been
going to say the name
wanting
of now.
to read for some time, and that tweet will be the one that will follow this sentence that I am saying right now, but have yet to finish.
Right.
Go ahead.
This one's from Acrelius P.O. Rowe, who says, do you think that when Phil Spencer says the Series X's pricing will remain agile, he really means they will keep lowering the price until they see the sales they want and need to see?
I think the only reason he says stuff like that is to avoid a huge backlash if they decide they need to raise the price based on the current world situation.
Also, I like how Phil's face is frozen.
Yeah, Phil's having some Zoom issues.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah. I mean, I think they tried to do that with the Xbox One for a little while with pack-ins and retailer-specific discounting. And it's possible that that's what he means with this, is that there will, be promotions that will hopefully like keep things rolling if they aren't seeing the sales that they want. Obviously, I think Microsoft wants to do better in this upcoming generation than they
Yes.
did last generation. And pricing, I think, is going to be a big factor for a lot of people, especially people who are bought into the PlayStation ecosystem and aren't susceptible to leaving that, right?
And again, especially considering the potential financial fallout of the pandemic.
And that too. Yeah. That's something you have to consider for sure. I mean, nobody's really, neither Sony or Microsoft have said that
No.
the pandemic is going to impact their launch plans yet, but somewhere inside both companies, they are planning for all sorts of outcomes.
Yeah.
And the fact that people were talking about The Last of Us 2's delay as being not related to the game not being done, but in part just because they want that retail splash, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to be able to be number one on the NPD or whatever, and delaying it makes more sense than trying to get it out digital only or by any other means at the end of May. Just like we did get Onward, and we have gotten several films like Trolls World Tour on
which we
digital.
watched this week.
Did you really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet myself.
Did the kids like it?
They loved it.
Excellent.
Nice. But they're like pushing back Mulan and the ones that are expected to do bigger business at the box office. So
Yeah.
I think that's the situation with The Last of Us, and who knows if it'll be the same situation with the new consoles as well. Alrighty, should we do should we do one more?
Let's do one more.
Let's hope Zoom doesn't crash on me for a third time.
Let's do this one from Acrelius 6 Squid Games, who says, you were transformed into a driver within an arcade racer. What arcade racing game world do you choose to inhabit? This seems tailor-made towards Greg Seward.
So it's got to be an arcade driving game.
Yeah,
Has to be arcade.
that's what it. Yeah,
I
an
gotta see
arcade
Outrun.
racer.
Yeah,
Outrun.
Outrun. Come on.
Outrun.
Blue Skies.
Yeah.
Outrun. Does Hydro Thunder count? If
Hydro Thunder
counts,
totally counts.
Then I'm in for Hydro Thunder.
I mean,
But Outrun is a great.
the blue skies, the good music. You got the
Yeah.
you got the sexy lady in the passenger
Got
seat.
the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the
What's
downside
not to
here?
like?
no downside. No
Yeah.
downside at all.
I mean, really,
And Outrun is a great game.
it certainly
It is
is.
a great game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
Anyway, all right. I think we're done then. What do you think?
Let's call that a show.
Is that a show? I think it's
Yeah.
a show.
I mean, what was I going to say?
Not a show.
Lucky and Wild.
Lucky and Wild.
Daytona,
Oh, man.
USA.
Actually, could we do Lucky and Wild where Greg is the driver and I'm the guy leaning out shooting people?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's a date, my friend.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD games from Mr. Greg Seward.
Yes, I'm going to start a new one of those this week, I hope.
Cool. You'll find Generation 16 episodes.
The current episode is going very well. Still a long way to go, but making real progress on it like every day. So
Excellent.
pretty excited about that.
And you'll find show notes and links to everything that we talked about during this episode. And you will find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast application. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch archives of many of our previous episodes, or watch us live on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast. Follow our Twitter account to find out when we'll be broadcasting our next live show. It's usually right around this time, but back 2 hours, assuming you're watching this live. Sundays, 5:30 Pacific,
Right.
typically. But follow our
True.
Twitter account. You never know what you'll see. You never know what's going to happen.
True.
And if you'd like what
Day and
you've heard,
age, yeah,
oh yeah, for
you
sure.
never know.
Oh my gosh, in this frightening new normal that we have found ourselves in, you never know. If you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ has been taking some hits on the stalk market lately, and he owes some people some bells. So
What? No.
Silk has threatened to break his
get him.
legs.
get him out of that hole. My
That's right.
goodness.
Yeah.
And if you have a couple bucks left over, oh well, let me do this. Let me back her up here. If you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
not only do you get our unending love and appreciation and
True.
thanks, but you also get access to a special post show every week where we play games, we crack wise, we have fun, we do all the sorts of stuff that we are legally forbidden to do on the free show. So thanks to
I don't know about that.
internet
that's- yeah.
guidelines, again, regulations coming down from the federal level. We have no control over this. We have to do it this way. So we appreciate your support. Your Patreon dollars do certainly help keep the show afloat. All money goes into maintaining the show and
True.
And helping keep the lights on. And enjoy the bonus shows. If you have a couple bucks left over, of course, head over to generation-16.com where you will find the Patreon link to support Greg Seward's outstanding, and it is outstanding web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Greg. And you know what? Congratulations again to you on all that money you raised for the kids.
Indeed.
This
Yes.
past week. That is pretty outstanding.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody who helped out with that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Seriously. And I'm going to thank our good pal, Christopher New Dad Baker, or upcoming New Dad Baker,
Soon to
for,
be.
for his incredible work and organization that he did for the episode 700 last week.
The Player One Squares. Yeah.
Player One Squares, was outstanding. So thank you again, C-Bake. We love you very much. CJ,
Yeah.
thank you, of course.
Thank
for
you, Phil.
that which you do, which is
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Gregory,
Yo.
thank you as well.
Thank you, Phil.
And of course, thank you to our wonderful listeners. We appreciate each and every single one of you. You are just tip top, and we couldn't do it. Well, we could do it without. We absolutely could do it without you.
But we wouldn't want
We
to.
wouldn't want to.
But we like you so much that we're glad
Yes.
you're here.
And
putting up with
everybody stay safe out there.
Yeah,
And
wash your
hope
hands.
you're well.
Wash your
Don't-
hands.
Don't go
make good
outside
choices.
unless you got to.
Right.
You
Wear a
know,
mask.
wear a
all that
mask.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Next week, folks.
Bye-bye.
Toodaloodles.
Little noodles.